Yardley Station ribbon cutting ceremony. We thank everyone for being here today. My name is Carla Shoali, Director of Media Relations. First one to have their day in the sun is our SEPTA Chairman of the Board, Pat Dion.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It's great to be finally in Bucks County opening something up, Jeff. Did you get the hint on that one there? Levittown. It's not the same. The people here are a little different up here. Thanks for all joining us at the station today. We've always talked about Act 89 and the significance on projects that we've had at SEPTA over the last 5 years. It's really fundamental to how we are growing the system and expanding and how we're fixing up our assets. Act 89, which was voted on by the State Assembly and the Senate, really came to being what we use as our engine to keep this system really working long and hard. So this is one of the projects we're very proud of. It's critical to growth and vitality of the county, and without the support of the county commissioners, our state reps, state senators, the congressman has been more than supportive of our SEPTA projects and rail, which will be evident when, even on the turnpike, we're going to open up the I-95 interchange. But I think it just shows how we're in the mode to expand the system, get our people to work, grow the area, and work together. So I look forward to doing more of these, hopefully more in Bucks County. There, Jeff. Levittown. Is that going to be done this year? Okay. All right. Thank you, Carla. Thank you guys all for coming. We'll get you out of here before we get too hot.
All right. Thank you, Chairman Dion. Before I introduce SEPTA General Manager Jeff Kneppel to discuss the project, I want to welcome Yardley Borough Mayor Chris Harding, David Bria, Vice President of Yardley Borough Council, Chief Yardley Police Chief Joseph Kelly. Well, thank you for being here this morning and for your partnership. It is now my pleasure to introduce SEPTA's General Manager, Jeff Kneppel.
Good morning and welcome. For me, today's event is a happy return to a station project or a location I was first involved with in the early part of my career, and a fulfillment of a long-held goal to make this an ADA accessible station. We couldn't do it back then. As many of you know, for years, Conrail and then CSX freight traffic shared this portion of West Trenton line track with SEPTA, with both services sharing the same two tracks. This track condition prevented us from installing high-level platforms until now. The separation project conducted by SEPTA and CSX set the stage for this transformative station project. Federal Tiger funding was instrumental in this fast-tracked effort that was completed in 2015 in under 2 years from inception to completion. A third track was constructed for 4 of the 6 miles from West Trenton to Woodburn. The physical improvements at the station, combined with the introduction of our new electric locomotives, which run on this line, will enhance the travel experience for our customers. Boarding and exiting trains becomes much simpler, and that helps to reduce dwell times at stations and improve the overall performance of our service. Additionally, the new platform configuration makes it possible to fully berth a 6-car train. None of this would have been possible without support from both Washington and Harrisburg. 2 congressmen from the 8th District named Fitzpatrick, first the Honorable Michael Fitzpatrick, and now his brother Representative Brian Fitzpatrick, both supported federal investment in transit infrastructure improvements. At the state level, Pennsylvania Act 89 provided the resources for the ADA improvements at Yardley and our upcoming substation replacement project, critically needed. And I went over and looked at it before I spoke today. On the building it says 1931, and much of the equipment at that substation is from the original build in 1931. So we're making investments all over. We worked at a bridge just this past weekend within a mile away from this location, and right now the wire train is already working on this branch. So we're making strategic investment in our infrastructure and stations, and with a continued focus on making the SEPTA system accessible and welcoming for all customers. And it's critical because a robust public transportation system is fundamental to the economic growth and strength of our region. I want to thank everyone for joining us this morning to celebrate the newest ADA accessible regional rail station and for your continued support of SEPTA public transportation. We are proud of the improvements made at Yardley, the new ADA platform and ramps, customer waiting shelters, signage, new lighting, bike parking, and other site improvements, making this an incredibly attractive and welcoming station. And working with the borough, we also repurposed one of the original wooden platform shelters to make a protected waiting area for the Kiss and Ride lot. It's right there, a piece of history. We invite you to try the convenience of travel on regional rail from Yardley Station and give yourself some time back to read, catch up on sleep, check emails, or watch a video. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jeff. If you can give a warm welcome to Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick.
Morning, everybody. And if there's two things that are unique about transportation and infrastructure, number one, it's something everybody agrees upon, and number two, it is probably the best case example of all facets of government, from local, state, county, and federal, all coming together. And if you look at this project here, it's really Exhibit A of that. The federal piece of this, you heard about Act 89. The Tiger Grant piece of this was about $10 million, about 70% of which went to SEPTA, about 30% to CSX. And as our economy continues to expand, more revenue coming to the government, this has really got to be the priority, is modernizing our transportation and infrastructure. Obviously, it's going to be my job to make sure that as many of those dollars come back here to Bucks County as possible. I know Chairman Dion's going to make sure that that happens. And we need it here. We really do. And when you look at just this train station here, the lighting improvements, the ADA accessibility improvements, the passenger compartments up there, the expanded platform, these are all not just needed infrastructure programs to increase efficiency, it's also critical for safety as well. And that's also a very, very high priority for all of us. So just want to thank Chairman Dion, the entire SEPTA board, Commissioner Lockery, Mayor Harding, the board here in Yardley Makefield, and also State Representative Warren as well. So thank you all.
Thank you, Congressman. We're also pleased to be joined today by Lara Flynn, Southeast District Representative for United States Senator Robert Casey, and Philip Inamorado, Field Representative for United States Senator Pat Toomey. Now please welcome Deputy Secretary for Multimodal Transportation, Jenny Granger.
So someone, the general manager, if anybody's ever received one of his business cards, on the back, it's a memorable quote. It says, "Don't celebrate the idea, celebrate when you make the idea a reality." Today, we're making one of those ideas a reality. And again, it is Act 89 funding in full effect. So representing the department, the secretary, and the governor, I couldn't be more pleased to be here today in order to share in this. Again, it's demonstrating what those additional funding commitments can do, ADA compliance. More than that, it's providing a service to our constituents. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Deputy Granger. Before I introduce Commissioner Lockery, the county is also represented by Evan Stone, Executive Director of the Bucks County Planning Commission, and Rich Brailer, Director of Transportation for Bucks County Planning Commission. It is now my pleasure to introduce Chairman of the Bucks County Board of Commissioners, Robert Lockery.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, and Mr. Chairman, thank you. It's a great time, actually, right now, when you think about it, to be in Bucks County, when you see a lot of incredible projects that are going on. We heard referenced earlier the Pennsylvania Turnpike and the I-95 connection, which is going to open this month. On my way down here this morning, driving down Taylorsville Road, caught up in construction because the Scudder's Fall Bridge is going through a major construction project right now. And of course, this project here today, and we heard about the work that's going on at the Levittown train station. All of these assets are critical to the quality of life that we enjoy here in Bucks County, and making investments in them are a priority for the Board of Commissioners. Chairman Dion mentioned earlier the importance of Act 89, and Act 89, in addition to being used here to leverage federal and other state funds, has also been used in the county for a lot of the work that we're doing on our bridges. So we're making some big investments in our infrastructure here in Bucks County, which goes to the quality of life that we enjoy here in Bucks County, and we are grateful that we're able to do that. Each year, the county allocates about $4.3 million annually in an allocation to SEPTA. And by the way, I know that number keeps going up each year. Can we kind of work on bringing it down? Or we? Okay, all right. Well, it's good money though. It's excellent money that we're using, and it's worthwhile for us to make each year, because not only does it help support operations and maintenance, a portion of it goes to capital improvements, then which leverage other dollars to make these investments. So we're thrilled with the work that SEPTA does here in Bucks County. It's a regional network that many people use. It adds to the quality of life here in our county, and also to the employment base for bringing people into work, and also to get people out to other places to work. So we will continue to make these investments in the infrastructure, and we'll continue to work and partner with SEPTA, with the state government, with the federal government, to make these projects a reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Lockery. Before I introduce our final speaker, I would like to take a moment to recognize Steve Knoll, Executive Director of TMA Bucks, Lee Wall, Chairperson of the SEPTA Citizen Advisory Committee, John Bartle, Regional Rail Vice Chair of SEPTA's Citizen Advisory Committee, and Thaddeus Robinson, SEPTA Advisory Committee for Accessible Transportation, and Marcus Bowie, representing SEPTA's Youth Advisory Committee. It is now my pleasure to introduce State Representative Perry Warman.
Thank you and good morning. The anticipation with which the community has awaited the completion of this project is evidenced by the fact that we have processed at my office just down the street on Main Street here in Yardley well over 1,000 SEPTA senior key passes, which will allow our seniors to travel into Philadelphia and surrounding communities as of September 1st for free on SEPTA transportation. This is a tremendous infrastructure improvement, and in addition to thanking all those who have been thanked already today, let's thank the residents of Yardley Borough who have supported this project and this infrastructure improvement here in their borough, as well as the Yardley local officials and the hardworking men and women who did the construction work here over the past year, 2 years, and built this project, which is ADA accessible while maintaining the historical integrity of the original Yardley station. This is a great project for this community. I'm proud to be here today and to thank the hardworking men and women who made this happen and who work with us and help us every day on the SEPTA trains. Thank you.
Okay, before we do that thing that we've all been waiting for, the ribbon cutting ceremony, we're going to have our General Manager, Jeff Kneppel, come up with some final thoughts.
Thank you, Carla. Really, I wanted to recognize the team. When you get a first-class project like this, you need a first-class team. And so I'm going to read a bunch of names and describe their roles in the project. If you wait at the end, then we'll give applause. First of all, this is the Engineering, Maintenance, and Construction Division under Bob Lund. Chief Engineer is Kate O'Connor. The designer was Matt Huffnagel. He's over there somewhere. This was an in-house project. Now, we use a lot of prefabricated components and did use the help of a contractor for some sheeting and shoring work named Rockport, but this was really our own people, and they just, you can see the pride and the desire to create a really great project, and they did it. So let's hear their names. Jerry McGovern, Mark Nichols, and Jim Schneider were the management team involved with supervising the work. And then the workers themselves, Tim Puglia, Lou Puglia, Jason Hicks, Tom Gay, Dave Frank, Steve Frames, Scott Jasinski, and Craig Jasinski. They're all over there, and some are out there, but let's give them a great hand. Okay, it's getting hot. I just got this suit back from the dry cleaner, so we got to get to the ribbon cutting now. And everybody knows I love construction, and it's a beautiful day, and we have a lot to be very happy about today. Thank you.
I'm afraid it's that specific.
All right, the moment we've all been waiting for. Everyone's got their scissors.
Where's the mayor?
The mayor. We have to have the mayor.
And then,
Yep, I got a part. There you go, sir. You probably have more working than I do, so trust me.
All right, everyone gather around. On the count of, Fran, on the count of...
yep, we'll give you 1, 2, 3. Everybody, where's our camera? I want to make sure. Here we go. All right, here. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Open it up.
There you go. Certainly thank everyone for being here and our media folks. Thanks for coming out, and we'll see you next time.